mob bosses have always captivated the public's imagination as depicted in Hollywood blockbusters such as The Godfather. However, behind these fictitious images were genuine kingpins at the forefront of massive and brutal smuggling, money laundering, bootlegging, sex work, drug, kidnapping, and murder enterprises. The arm of organized criminal networks is frequently extremely hierarchical, expansive, and difficult to infiltrate. It operates as a form of quasi-law enforcement. Consequently, gang mafia bosses have historically been notably invulnerable. Here are 8 of history's most brutal, prominent, and feared gangsters. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the 8 most powerful gangsters in history. Yeah, you heard it right. Number 1. Al Capone, 1899 to 1947. Alphonse Gabriel Capone, who earned the monikers Scarface, Big Al, Big Boy, and Snorky, was born in New York. As a teenager, he was a part of the 5 Points gang before traveling to Chicago and co-founding the Chicago Outfit, which later grew to encompass smuggling and prostitution work. In addition to his harsh techniques of violence, he frequently bribed police, judges, and even the mayor of Chicago. The mayor of Chicago designated him public enemy number 1 only after he openly murdered 7 rival gang members during the historic St. Valentine's Day massacre. Eventually, he was incarcerated for tax evasion, although he was later released. He died of a heart attack and left a staggering $3 billion in wealth behind. Number 2. Albert Anastasia, 1902 to 1957. Umberto Albert Anastasia, also known as the Earthquake, the One-Man Army, Mad Hatter, and Lord High Executioner, was one of the founders of the contemporary American Mafia. Born in Italy, Anastasia began his career in the US as a longshoreman. He aligned himself with the Mafia, co-founded, and eventually became head of the Murder Inc. organization, which gave him power over the whole New York coastline. Eventually, he became the head of the Mangano crime family. He was not proclaimed the boss of the contemporary Gambino crime family until after the infamous Castellamarese War, a deadly fight for supremacy among Italian-American crime factions. Eventually, he was killed in a barbershop, perhaps by members of the Genovese and Gambino families. Number 3. Lucky Luciano, 1897 to 1962. Charles Lucky Luciano, infamous for being the first gangster to legitimize mafia authority in America, began his criminal career with the 5 Points gang before becoming a top aide in Mazzari's criminal organization following the Castellamarese War. He founded the commission in 1931 with the intention of preventing future gang conflicts and publicly connecting the various mob groups. Lucky's good fortune ended when he was found guilty of sex work racketeering. However, after cooperating with the United States Navy during World War II, his 30 to 50-year sentence was commuted on the condition that he be returned to Italy. He later died in Naples of a heart attack. Number 4. Frank Costello, 1891 to 1973. Costello, who was born in Italy but raised in East Harlem, began his criminal career at the age of 13 years old. His association with Lucky Luciano in bootlegging, gambling, and construction businesses gave him influence. And when Luciano was sent to prison, he became the head of the Luciano, later Genovese, crime family. During the Vietnam War, he leveraged an East Asian link to sell heroin, thus thwarting the actions of the Italian mafia, who typically controlled commerce. He survived an assassination attempt that resulted in the death of Albert Anastasia, evaded numerous legal proceedings brought against him, and died of a heart attack at the age of 82, leaving $52 million behind. It is said that he inspired both The Godfather by Mario Puzo and The Godfather by Francis Ford Coppola. Number 5. Carlo Gambino, 1902 to 1976. Carlo Gambino, also known as The Godfather, Don Carlo, and the King of the United States Underworld, the dictator of New York City, and the King of the American Mafia, was the head of the Mangano crime family, which he renamed the Gambino crime family following the assassination of Albert Anastasia. After the 1957 Appalachian meeting, he unexpectedly seized control of the American Mafia Commission, and after Vito Genovese's imprisonment, his influence rose. A guy of discretion and secrecy, he died of a heart attack at the age of 74. Number 6. Paul Castellano, 1915 to 1985. Paul Castellano, a business-minded mob boss, steered the Gambino crime family to its financial zenith by steering the family away from illegal enterprises such as narcotics trafficking and toward money laundering, extortion, construction, and food. He constructed a 17-room house on Staten Island to resemble the White House, and he expected a larger share of mob revenues, which, along with the animosity over his appointment as the boss, led to his assassination outside a Manhattan restaurant at the age of 70. Number 7. Pablo Escobar, 1949 to 1993. As the most notorious capo of the 1980s and 1990s, Pablo Escobar, a Colombian narco-terrorist and drug trafficker, is believed to have murdered approximately 4,000 people. Known as the King of Cocaine, the King of Crack, El Padrino, and El Patron, he established the Medellin cartel, which at its height supplied the United States with 70 to 80 tons of cocaine per day and skyrocketed the crime rate in Colombia. He was incarcerated in 1992, but he escaped. The subsequent nationwide manhunt resulted in his death the day after his 44th birthday. Number 8. John Gotti, 1940 to 2002. Because he was regularly shown in newspapers wearing expensive suits, John Gotti was nicknamed the Dapper Don. Gotti, a criminal since the age of 12, assassinated his boss, Paul Castellano, which propelled him to the position of Gambino crime family boss. In the 1980s, he gained millions through loan sharking, prostitution employment, illicit gambling, and the selling of illegal drugs. He was eventually imprisoned in 1992, but continued his crime business from behind bars. In 2002, he died of cancer. So that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.